I am blown away that I am talking to you right now. I have my
Oh,
right here. I'm sure you
oh, I
the tarot
love
card shirts.
that.
Aren't they so
Yes,
gorgeous?
it's beautiful. I love the tarot cards. They're so beautiful.
They are so gorgeous. Yeah. Well, honestly, this is an honor to talk to you. I'm a huge fan of the show. Thank you for
Oh,
giving me your time
yay.
today. Like I
Pleasure.
said, I watched the first 2 episodes and I'm just completely blown away. But honestly, I just really want to ask you, like, first and foremost, what it is like to get back into filming season 4 after a 2-year hiatus, after, like, you guys are now filming the second half with COVID. So what the fans really want to know, and I want to know, what has it been like?
Man, it's crazy. Like, I just feel like when COVID hit, I remember being like, are you kidding me? Like, this? Now this? After all of that? Now we have this? Um, but it just has been such an amazing reminder about how much the show means to the people who work on it as well. Like, I have to say my hats off to our crew who have completely relearned how to do, not relearned, but like rejigged how we do everything.
Yeah.
And it's just a massive testament to how much people care, how much people want to make sure that the show gets made and gets back to the fans who fought so hard to bring it back in the first place. We're just so ready to get these episodes out there and for people to see them and enjoy them. And I was so relieved when I found out that they were going to be at least airing the first half sooner, and it wasn't going to push the whole thing, because I was like, oh my gosh, 3 years later. But I'm just so excited to be back. It's crazy. We're working really hard. We're staying safe, and we're all like bubbled, and we're getting tested all the time and everything. I think I wash my hands like 67 times a day. And but we're doing all the things we need to do, and our whole team is working really hard, and just like, things that are going to be more difficult and will take more time, and that's just what we have to do, and everyone's willing and happy to do it. And it's just a big reminder about how much the people who work on the show care about it too.
100%. So when you got back to Calgary to film, did you guys like kind of quarantine yourselves for 2 weeks? Like, how was the process in getting back to filming for not only the cast, but like you said, the crew, everyone?
The crew and everyone. So we didn't quarantine because we're domestic and we're staying within Canada.
Got
So
it.
we didn't have to quarantine, but we did do like a test before we got in the airplane, and then a test when we landed, and then I've been tested again since. And we're pretty much not going anywhere. Like, we're not isolated, but just because we're doing things where we're not around other people. So like there's beautiful mountains here. We can do that. We can be together as a cast because we're like bubbled as a family unit, because we're together without masks on set. I mean, Dom and I are kissing, so clearly we are a bubble. We can do great things like that, and it's amazing to be in Calgary in the summer, because usually we're here when it's like really, really cold and you don't want to go anywhere. But now, so like we don't do a lot around the city. We sort of go just kind of from work to our apartments, but then we are trying to get out, drive out to the mountains, go for a canoe or something, just to like get out and do something and not feel stuck in one place, which is great. So it's pretty much been, all of us are being pretty cautious about that though.
So like, what was the vibe like on set, like before, I guess, COVID, when you started filming the first half of season 6? Because like, I mean, like, it's been a long time since season 3, and it was left on a massive cliffhanger. So like, I mean, and now you guys, obviously, there's no actors that interact with the fans more than what I've seen with you guys. It's just absolutely unbelievable. I talk to a lot of actors. I do, a lot of these Zoom calls, and everyone appreciates the fans, right? Everyone loves the fans, but you guys take it to a different level in regards to engaging with the fans. And I'm just curious for you as an actor, why is that so important to you in regards to continuously engaging? Because I mean, we've had Wynonna since 2016, so it's like that, it's like you guys can, the fact that you still continuously engage, it's just incredible to me.
Thank you for saying that. I think also because we have the opportunity to do the conventions with the fans, and we go to Wynonna EARP specific conventions, I think we've just built this really unique bond
Mm-hmm.
fans of the show that's really special and gets especially nurtured at these types of events. Because you can really, at that point, you're like really able to hear people's stories and talk with them and be in community with them. And I think it builds a special bond. But I will say, like, I think we just really care about the story we're telling. I know for me and for Dominique, it was really important for us, especially because we were playing queer characters and like 5-6 years ago when we shot this, the representation wasn't as good. Like, I've watched things massively change over the past 5 years for the better. And I think especially at the beginning, it was really important for us to like connect and just be like, we see you and we're here for you and we're here to try and tell a piece of your story. Or like, I never want to say someone's story, but like something that you might identify with. For a lot of people, it was the first time they had seen themselves represented. And that was so huge. And I think it was really important for me to just keep connecting with people and reminding them that they're special and they're seen.
Yeah.
And so just to go that extra step to make sure that they felt that way.
Yeah, this and Schitt's Creek are like, you know, my two favorite like gay ships, you know, of all time.
Yeah.
So I know you and Dom have just such great chemistry. I mean, like I said, I literally cannot wait to see fan reactions after the first 2 episodes and what I've seen. So getting back to kind of like, you know, working with Dom in regards to how it is on set right now. So after you guys are doing, you know, like an intimate scene or kissing scene, like, is there different protocols like on set that you have to follow now in regards to that? But, or is it just kind of like you guys did the work and now you're just kind of doing what you've been doing for the last couple of years? Like in regards to staying safe on set?
Well, for us, it's really just that we're bubbled. Like, we're tested and we don't interact with people without masks outside of our bubble.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so it's basically just that, like, we've done the work to there's a big storm rolling in. I don't know if you can hear it. Probably not.
Yeah, but if it's
no, it's just I have like these really big magical windows. I'm like in the sky up here. It's cool. Yeah, so no, it's basically just, it's funny though. We were joking the other day, we had a scene where we kissed, and after, at the end, they put us into transport to take us back to where the trailers and stuff were. Okay. And they were like, oh, no, we have to put them in separate cars because there's like rules about how many people can be in cars and who can be in what cars because it's an enclosed space. And I was like, but we just kissed. But they still, like, there's these kind of gray areas of like, well, that's sort of the protocol, so we're just going to do the protocol, even though, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. We're just going to, so we're working it out, you know. I think we're still adjusting. We've only been shooting, we started last Thursday.
Oh, wow.
So we've literally been shooting 5 days today.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask you how far you were into it. So literally just 5 working days then.
5 working days.
So after you guys are done filming then, are you kind of just really with each other on set and then you're going back to your like apartments right now? Like, are you not filming today or do you film later tonight?
I'm not filming. No, I'm not filming today. No. So It's pretty much just like staying at home.
So do you guys not get to hang out afterward?
We do if we want to. Like, I'm going to go help Varun with a self-tape later today. Like, I can do that. I can go to his apartment. We don't have to wear a mask because we're in the bubble.
Got it.
But like, I won't go, even though like all the bars and stuff are open here, I won't go to a bar. And if I do, I'll do takeout or I'll like sit on a patio as long as no one else is there. Like, we're all being really cautious.
Got it.
Probably like more so than they've even asked us to be, just because like nobody wants to, you know, it's very serious. Like, I mean, joking aside, like we're taking the fact that we're, I think, one of the only TV shows in production in the country right now.
Mm-hmm. You are.
Like, that's, you know, that's pretty serious. And like, we're going to be held as an example for a bit of a gatekeeper to other productions getting to go, because there's a proven it's working, it's okay, everyone was safe. So we're all taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah, no, and thank you for answering all those questions. That's like the main reason I had all these questions, because like the actor I'm talking to is not currently working right now. And my main question is like, what are you gonna do like when you get back to filming and you guys are in filming? So I'm just, that's why I was curious. So I know that Tim has said that like putting Doc's hat on has helped him get back into character. Is there something that has helped you get into back to character with Nicole? Is it something maybe like a wardrobe piece or a prop, anything like that?
It's usually my hair.
That's what my producer is going to be her.
It's usually my hair. As soon as the hair goes on, I'm like, okay. It's so synonymous with Nicole for me, this red hair, that once the dye goes on, then I sort of like feel like she's back.
Yeah, I love it so much. It's, and you look, I mean, I love the length and everything right now.
Thank you. So oh my gosh, I was desperate for a haircut. I was so happy when I got my haircut.
Really? And it's longer than, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Oh my gosh, it was so long. My hair grows so crazy fast. It was so long. They cut 4 inches off of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I don't know if this is something that you've touched on before, but is it true that Nicole was only going to be like kind of a semi-supporting character in season 1, and then it got continued on? Because I mean, you're perfect in the role, but I mean, this happens a lot. Like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, Spike was supposed to be just like a character in season 2, and then they ended up bringing him back, you know, throughout the whole series. It happens all the time in shows. And I'm curious for you, like, what was your plan when you kind of signed on with season 1 with Nicole?
I mean, so I've since, like, at first I was only contracted for 6 episodes. That is true. But I've heard Emily talk about it, because I obviously like was not in on those conversations. I've heard Emily talk about it, like, I guess when you're casting a love interest, which is, you know, I guess the first thing Nicole was brought on to be.
Right.
Now
she's sheriff.
Yeah, I know. But I think and it makes sense. Emily's explained this to me a little bit, but I think you need a bit of an insurance policy. Like if there's no chemistry, the last thing you'll have wanted to do is bring on somebody that you just signed to a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
So I think, from what I've heard Emily speak about it, I think it was more a, you know, I always say, oh, I was only supposed to do 6 episodes, and I was. And I think I didn't know that, though. I wasn't aware. And I was just so like, I had never booked. I had done like movies and stuff, but I had never booked more than a few episodes of a TV show. And that was so exciting for me. And I was just so excited, and I loved the character, and I loved the world. And so every time that I got a little more, it was just sort of like, oh, okay. And then like I get another episode, and then they'd be like, we want her on another block. And so it got more and more. And it was, I guess, nice to feel like I was doing a good job, I suppose. I mean, everyone loves a little validation once in a while. So,
oh my God, you guys are one of the most popular TV ships of all time. I can't imagine, you know, having the show without it. So, I mean, you know, like I've touched on this before, but like, you know, growing up, I was such a big fangirl. I loved shipping. Like, you know, I have Twilight, I have Buffy, I have like all these, you know, I have all these things behind me where I love shipping. I'm curious for you, when you were growing up, what did you kind of fangirl about? And like, did you have certain, you know, movie ships or TV show ships that like of 2 characters that you really loved just growing up?
I'm so uncool. Like my pop culture knowledge is very minimal. I've learned a lot doing like the Comic-Con circuits and stuff. Yeah. But I was really like growing up, I was really into Sailor Moon, but I wouldn't say I like shipped anyone. I don't know. I look back, I'm like, what did I watch?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of TV. I was really like a theater nerd, and I did a lot of like going to musicals and plays, and like I was really like into sports. And so I just wasn't consuming a ton of content, to be honest. It's such a boring answer, but like, I don't want to make something up, because then someone's going to be like, what did you think about this part? I'll be like, I don't know. I was just kidding. I lied. I don't know. I panicked.
Yeah, no, you were theater. I minored in theater in college. I was a big
Did you? Oh, nice.
No, so I totally get it. So I know, you know, like all the fans know that typically in episode 7 in Wynonna, that's the why not, you know, scenes. We, you know, we all know what's happening in regards to the end of season 3, and, you know, it's up to Nicole and Wynonna to save Waverly and Doc at this point. So we get a little bit more of those why not scenes coming up in those first 2 episodes without giving too much away. What can fans anticipate from that relationship specifically for this new season?
I love the relationship so much between those characters. I think, we had a maybe engagement sort of gray area at the end of season 3. And I think that brings out some feelings. Things are shifting. Things are getting a little more official and, settling into that, maybe being newly engaged and having, I guess the interesting thing about those 2 characters together is there's a mutual love and understanding, but there's also always been a little bit of a competition too. And so I think there's
that's true,
some shifts, and it's how are we gonna coexist together now, maybe as family? What's that gonna look like, and how do we make sure that everyone still feels included and special, and what's that dynamic?
And I'm pronouncing it's why not, right?
Why not?
That's what, okay, because I'm I love this. No, trust me, I love using the shipping names WayHaught and Why Not, and I love the name Why Not. And I know was that you kind of made that name for Haught and Wynonna, right?
I don't think I made it. There was something else. I'm not smart enough. There was a brilliant fan who did it, but we were called something else.
What was it?
WayHaught.
WayHaught.
And I was just that's too similar to WayHaught. And also I loved the tongue in cheek of Why Not.
Yes.
I loved that it had, in the name itself, had meaning that's totally represented them in every way of this sort of unlikely duo. And I've always loved the buddy cop kind of vibe between the 2 of them. And I just thought Why Not perfectly encapsulated that. So I think one day I went online and was officially from this day forward, can we please call it Why Not? Because I also was too similar to WayHaught. It had to be different, but I liked the tongue in cheek of it.
I do too. So I know Mel directed a couple, I don't know if she directed a couple episodes or one episode from season 4. So what was it like being directed by her? I mean, I'm sure she just did an amazing and phenomenal job.
She did an amazing job. She was so cool about the whole thing. I never saw her panic or because it's a lot, starring in a show and then directing. I don't know how she kept it all straight in her head. But I really leaned on her. She directed episode 3, and I really leaned on her because Nicole is processing a lot in that episode. And we actually shot episode 3 and 4 before episode 1 and 2, so that Melanie could come in early to prepare. Because usually when we're shooting, the director of the next block, we shoot 2 episodes, and the director of the next block is preparing their block.
Okay.
So if Melanie needed to be able to come early, so she did, and she did her prep.
Wow.
So we shot episodes 3 and 4 first. And so it was the first time getting back into Nicole's skin. And it was sort of a side of her I had never really explored, and a lot of newer emotions that we hadn't played with Nicole. And I really leaned on Melanie for guidance because I was unsure of the tone of the whole thing and if I was pitching it right. And I was just feeling very insecure about the whole thing. And she really helped me a lot. She was amazing. I trusted her so much. I trusted her in a way that I trust all the directors we work with, but there's something about working with Melanie. I mean, I think when you work with a director who's an actor, there's just this mutual understanding of I got you, I get it. I know what this is. I know what this doubt, this insecurity, this anxiety, I get it. I know that feeling and I'm here with you. And actors we can see it in each other, And so I think there was just this trust. She did such a great job. And I remember one day on set, there were 3 Wynonnas. There was a stunt Wynonna, Melanie, and then the photo double Wynonna. Oh, so it was a lot. It was a lot. There was a lot. And then there was the same day of her episode where we had doubles of 4 characters on set.
Oh, wow.
Plus an extra Wynonna. I really wish that I got some pictures that day, but I really wish we had got like a group photo with everyone and all the doubles. And because it was like because everyone's dressed the same, right? So we're all, it's like a fight scene.
I'm really looking forward to seeing episodes 3 and 4 now. But now that I think about it again, without giving anything away, I feel like at the beginning of episode 2, episode 2 is just really monumental for your character. And like getting, especially that opening scene, I guess maybe that warmed you up a bit before what you have to do, episode 2. So I think you said on like your Instagram, you said that there's so much more like sexy, beautiful, dreamy, like WayHaught in season 4. What was the chemistry like with you and Dom back in season 1 compared to what it is now in regards to you guys being on set? And do the writers put any more of like your own personalities into like the characters, and after we've been like, seeing these characters for 4 years? Does that make sense?
That's a great question. Well, to your first question, I think Dom and I have gone on like a similar journey to Waverly and Nicole. I mean, we started our working relationship together at the beginning of their relationship. Yeah. When, the times when we were having most of the conversations of like, is this okay? Because you kind of always do, like actors always talk about this, like the check-in with the other person of like, is there anything you don't like, anywhere you don't like to be touched? Because you don't know what's in people's past and like something they're uncomfortable with or really triggers them. Like you have to be respectful of that. So like having all those conversations together at the beginning was sort of like we were negotiating like in a way sort of similar to the way Nicole and Waverly were negotiating of like, I don't want to push you. I don't want you to be someone you're not. I don't want to like, so they were having a lot of the themes of like checking in, and we were doing a lot of checking in. And now we have such a shorthand with these characters because we've been with them for so long. We've been with each other. We've been on like this incredible massive journey. We've traveled together. We've like gone through massive life events and witnessed it in each other. We have a bond. I mean, the whole cast, we have this incredible, it really is. Dom said to me the other day, we got together as a group, as a cast after we had all had our negative tests and were able to bubble. So cool. And we had like a little dinner at one of our castmates' house, and it was just, John was like, wow, it is really like a family. Like the dynamics
100%.
of, we just have so much history together, all of us.
Yeah.
And I think for Dom and I, we've definitely developed a amazing comfort level with each other. There's lots of stuff where we don't have to talk through it in as much detail because we already know.
Yeah.
We're there. We've done the work. The work is there. And one thing I'm so proud of us for doing, and so grateful for Dom just being an incredible partner, is that nothing's ever off the table. We are so open with each other, and we always have been. And I think we never like took our foot off the gas, so to speak, in the way of like, we never took for granted how special WayHaught was. Oh, we never were like, whatever, this scene will be fine. It was always, we know how important the scenes are, especially to the audience. We know how much these characters mean to people and how much they mean to us. And we've always taken the time and done the work to make sure we're getting the most out of every moment they have together, I guess.
Yeah, no, and I think that speaks to, why the fandom is the way they are, is because you guys keep putting everything into it, after all these years. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that, I'm getting wrapped. I got the most fan questions for you, more than any other actor I've ever interviewed before.
Oh and my God.
It's absolutely insane. Like, it's so funny. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. It really is.
Yeah. It's so funny because I also feel like we've been away from it for a while, and I've been doing a bunch of press this week and being like, oh, right. I remember this, because like there was like nothing to talk about for a while because we were just sort of like, we don't know what's happening. And so
WayHaught Lunar said, what does it feel like to punch Wynonna during this time, and like, are we going to see a full-on fight between them sometime in season 4?
The punch was great. It was very cathartic. Obviously I didn't actually hit Melanie, but it was for the character, it was very cathartic because it was like a perfect embodiment of just everything. It was the perfect thing to do without saying a word. It just embodied like all the emotion, all the stuff, all the stuff. So I really enjoyed that moment for Nicole a lot. It was that episode's fun. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's there's some great stuff in there, and will they get into that remains to be seen.
Okay. So, and then also, Hot Vision is asking, you know, will we ever see Nicole in a leather jacket? I'm asking for a lot of fans. And that one was just to me. Everyone must want to see you in a leather jacket.
Interesting.
I mean, she has her
I have not been put in a leather jacket yet. I don't know if leather is really Nicole's thing.
I know. That's why
I think she's more of like a camo, like canvas, like army style kind of a girl. I don't know.
I love it so much. Okay.
And like I feel like leather jacket's kind of Wynonna's thing.
It
is so
but
synonymous with Wynonna in my head that like unless she was like trying to I was gonna swear, mess with her, I think that I don't know if she even would. I think she's just like, I'm just going to stick with what I know, what I love.
Oh my God. Well, yeah. last question for you. Castle Lover says, you know, is the tone of the second half of season 4 different from the first half? I mean, just, I guess, based on the fact that you guys had to do a break, you know, back in March with COVID. And then, so how is the tone? Is it any different?
I think they're probably talking about the tone on set as opposed to the tone of the scripts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not I mean, this is a fan question. So, I mean, if in regards to.
Yeah, the tone, well, on set, I would say the scripts, we've maintained our tone. There's been adjustments to have like less background performers or more shooting outside, or like there have been little adjustments like that. But we read the scripts we're shooting now back in March. Because we were just supposed to go on a 1-week break and come back and keep shooting. Right. So they haven't actually, I thought they were going to shift. They haven't, luckily they've been able to really keep the story that they wanted to keep telling. And so tonally, I don't think the show has shifted. And I think that's really important. Like the last thing I want to do, I don't know about anybody else, but like, I'm not interested in watching Zoom TV shows. Like I don't want to see people in masks. I watch TV to escape. Yeah. And for me, I'm not interested in like being reminded. Yeah. So I'm really glad that, you know, we are sticking true to our tone and what it was on set. So, I mean, just a little bit more like cautious. Yeah. Everything's just like, you know, not on edge. Nobody's on edge, but just like aware. Yeah. You know, that we have to be.
Well, Kat, I appreciate your time so much today.
Thank you.
My producer, part-time BFF, she's the one that got me into Wynonna. Like we are like the biggest like Wynonna fans. That's literally all we do. Like, we binge and text and everything.
Come on, that's so fun. I love that.
She has not seen the first 2 episodes yet. I'm pretty sure.
Can't wait.
She's gonna pass.
Can't wait. I'm really surprised that she didn't like hold your feet to the fire and make you show her.
I did. Yeah, I know. I was
journalistic integrity, man.
Yeah, no, well, I again, I appreciate your time. I know this was last minute, and I was, you know, thrilled to talk with you today and watch the first 2 episodes earlier today. And cannot wait to see the rest of season 4. And you know, your character is just amazing. It's just amazing to see. Lauren. Like, I was watching episodes 1 and 2 of season 1 today. My husband was watching with me, and I was just like, it's just amazing to see her character arc over all of these seasons. And to see like the level of where you are in the show. I just feel like there's not a lot of actors out there that, you know, commit to like, you know, the fandom and care about the fans like you guys do. And I legitimately mean that. We literally talk about that all the time. So I appreciate your time so much.
Sweet. Well, thank you for saying that. And thank you for your time. It was really great to chat with you. And I'm really excited for everybody to see the show. And I'm just so excited that we can finally talk about it. It feels surreal. It's been such a long time coming. So I'm stoked.